Welcome to the SA Podcast. Sit back and enjoy our deep dive into cybersecurity topics and trends.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are tackling a massive decision that I think keeps a lot of tech leaders up at night.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about digital transformation.
Specifically how CTOs, heads of IT, how they're supposed to navigate the incredibly complex and often ridiculously expensive world of corporate IT infrastructure.
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game, and it's a direct critique of the status quo.
It seems to be all about shifting from just buying stuff to a real partnership. Okay, so let's define these paths, because anyone in IT will recognize them immediately. Path one is that established route. Think solutions like VMware. What's the critique there?
People take it, it's comfortable, it's familiar.
It's the default.
It's the default, exactly. But the hidden danger is that long-term cost. It's just completely unpredictable. That initial ease, it gets followed up very quickly with complex licenses, really aggressive renewals.
And fees that just keep climbing.
And you have no leverage to negotiate. It's the classic IT trap. Easy to start, but then you're basically held captive by the complexity and the cost. It's this subtle, creeping loss of control.
And it's more than just the budget, I imagine.
Total governance hell. Your ability to innovate is suddenly dictated by some vendor's product roadmap, not what your business actually needs. That path is just not sustainable.
Okay, so that's the trap of the old guard.
Yeah.
What about path two? The supposed escape route, other private or hybrid clouds.
Right, the one that promises all the agility and freedom that path one lacks. But historically, this path has its own kind of failure.
Vendor lock-in.
A different flavor of vendor lock-in. You swap one legacy vendor for maybe a newer, shinier, proprietary ecosystem, but it's still rigid, it's still complex. And the migration projects, they're just notorious for going over schedule and over budget.
Because you're essentially performing open heart surgery on the business.
You really are. And you risk your team becoming experts in managing some vendor's weird proprietary environment instead of actually delivering value to the business.
So on one side, unsustainable costs and complexity. On the other, deep technical lock-in.
Exactly. And that brings us to this third path. And it's centered around a modern platform like Zstack.
For listeners who might not be deep in this space, what is Zstack in this context?
That's a good question. So Zstack is basically a modern, pretty lightweight cloud operating system. You might hear it called Hyperconverged Infrastructure, or HCI.
Okay.
It's designed to manage virtual environments, private clouds, but with way less overhead. The key difference is that it aims to give you that cloud-like speed and agility, but on hardware that you, the client, completely own and control.
So you're trying to get the best of the public cloud, the speed, the elasticity, without the public cloud's cost structure or, the baggage of those legacy systems.
Precisely. And they frame the whole adoption not as a purchase, but as a collaborative expedition. That completely redefines the vendor's role.
Let's get into that shift from a transaction to a partnership.
Buy a license, get a stack of documentation, and then good luck.
Right. See you at renewal time.
Exactly. It's just unfit for what IT needs today. It leads to all these hidden costs popping up months later, deployments that just drag on forever, and solutions that feel shoehorned into the business, not designed for it.
So the big shift is that this kind of transformation can't be delivered to a client. It has to be co-created with them.
Yes. The partner's job isn't sales, it's guidance. It's architecture. And this whole philosophy is built on three pillars that are non-negotiable.
Okay, so pillar number one, I'm guessing, has to be about control. Something like sovereignty.
That's the one, sovereignty. And it's a huge word in IT right now, but here it means more than just where your data lives.
Right.
It means total control over your infrastructure, your data, and your digital destiny. Avoiding those crazy, unpredictable price hikes that Path One is famous for.
But hold on, if you're integrating a partner software, how do you avoid just swapping one kind of lock-in for another? How do you practically make sure the client keeps that control?
The second pillar, simplicity.
Okay.
The idea is if you reduce the sheer operational complexity of managing enterprise-grade infrastructure, you empower the client's team. If they can easily manage their own environment, they're way less dependent on some proprietary vendor's high-priced experts.
Ah, I see. So simplicity creates independence, which in turn reinforces that sovereignty. It's a loop.
It's a virtuous cycle.
The third pillar has to be what ties it all together. partnership?
Partnership is the ecosystem. It's the guarantee that you're not just buying software, you're gaining access to this network of expert architects and engineers who are with you every step of the way. It's a shared responsibility. The partner's success is tied to the client's business outcome, not just a successful deployment.
This whole approach seems designed to tackle the biggest fear in any huge IT project: commitment risk. Signing that massive contract and then 6 months down the line realizing, oh no, this thing can't actually handle our most critical workload.
Absolutely. Certainty before commitment.
And that journey starts with phase 1, discovery and vision alignment, starting with business goals, not a list of technical specs.
If you start with the tech, you almost always end up solving the wrong problem. So they use these strategic workshops to find the real why. Is this about cutting costs? Is it about modernizing an old application? Is it about some complex compliance rule?
You find the actual pain point.
The pain point the business is feeling right now, today, and the output has to be something tangible, especially for the C-suite who's funding it. So the goal is to move from that abstract strategy to a concrete demo fast. The deliverable is seeing your future workflow, a critical app, maybe a new DevOps pipeline running live on the new platform. It makes it real.
And that takes us to phase 2, the proof of concept, the POC. This is the trust but verify part.
A disciplined, time-boxed exercise, not some endless science project for the engineers.
This is where they have to prove it, right?
Exactly. Having dedicated demo labs ready to go for this so it can be done quickly. But the process, the structure is what's really key here.
Let's walk through that 5-week structure, because week 1 sounds like it's maybe the most important part for managing the risk.
It absolutely is. Week 1 is all preparation and alignment. The single most important action is everyone jointly signing off on a precise scope and defining the exact test cases.
So not vague promises, but measurable criteria.
Super specific. Like, can the platform successfully run our core banking system? Or can our dev teams spin up 50 identical test environments in under 10 minutes?
Things you could actually measure, yes or no.
Quantifiable, pass or fail. That discipline is what prevents scope creep and makes sure everyone agrees on what success looks like before you even start.
Okay, so alignment is week 1. Then you get into the real work, weeks 2 through 4, the guided exploration.
This is the engine room of the transformation. The partners' experts are working shoulder to shoulder with the client's own IT team. It's a technical validation, sure, but it's really an intense knowledge transfer session.
So by the end of the POC, the client's team shouldn't just be impressed, they should actually feel comfortable running the thing themselves.
That's the goal. The POC isn't just a test of the tech, it's a trial run for the partnership. It's a confidence builder for the internal team. If they don't feel empowered, then the whole thing has failed, even if the tech performed perfectly.
Which makes total sense. And week 5 ties it all together with a joint assessment.
Right. A formal review. You take out that list of success criteria from week 1 and you check them off one by one. And the deliverable isn't just a report. It's a signed validation from the client's team saying, yes, this works for us in our environment.
That completely changes the dynamic of the next conversation, doesn't it?
Radically.
You're not negotiating on if the tech works, because you've all seen it work. You're just talking about the commercials to move forward.
It de-risks that whole conversation. The actual implementation, it's all about transparency. The price reflects the solution you've already validated. No hidden fees for core features.
So when they move into that build phase, that implementation being a phased, agile process, how is that different from a standard deployment?
It's that continuous focus on empowerment. The knowledge transfer doesn't stop. The client's team is involved the whole way with weekly syncs and total transparency. They're learning to drive the car while they're helping to build it.
And user acceptance testing, the UAT. It's done with the actual power users running their real-world jobs on it.
Yeah, and that's a key distinction because a lot of the time, UAT is just a technical check. Does the button work? Yes. Okay, check.
Right.
This process insists on testing adoption. Do the people who have to use this every day actually feel like it makes their job easier? Are they using it? Because if they don't adopt it, the project's a failure. The goal is to build the internal team's capability to own it, operate it, and then innovate on it.
Which is a huge shift. Okay, so post-go live. This is usually when IT teams feel the most alone. How does this partnership model handle that?
They're very clear that go live is just a milestone. It's not the finish line. There's a precise checklist, formal training for the admins, and the support continues through dedicated channels portals, instant messaging. The client never feels like they've been abandoned.
This structure built for the long haul. And once that initial project is closed out, what's the long-term vision?
After closure, there's a formal retrospective. Did we hit the ROI we talked about back in phase 1? And then right away, the conversation shifts to, okay, what's next?
The roadmap.
The roadmap. This platform is supposed to be a dynamic, growing asset, not something you have to rip and replace in 3 years. So you start looking at new use cases. The infrastructure can now adapt as the business grows.
So to bring it all together, we have the digital crossroads. You have the path of escalating unpredictable costs on one side.
And the path of dangerous vendor lock-in and complexity on the other.
And this proposed third path, which is a whole methodology built on those 3 pillars: sovereignty, simplicity, and partnership.
Delivered through a phased journey that's designed to eliminate risk at every single step.
The pressure on tech leaders is just immense right now. Be agile, be innovative, be secure, and somehow do it all cheaper. This approach seems to offer a way to do that with a lot more certainty than the old models.
I think the core message here for you, the listener, is that achieving real digital sovereignty isn't about buying a product. It's about adopting a methodology, demanding that any partner proves the value in your environment with your teams before any big contract gets signed.
The ultimate choice they're presenting is, do you continue down that familiar but risky path where the vendor has all the control? Or do you insist on a journey that's based on evidence that ends with your own team being empowered?
The starting point is just clarity. Map out your vision, define what success looks like for you, and then challenge any potential partner to prove they can get you there in a 5-week engagement.
A really strategic way to look at changing the entire infrastructure game. Thank you for walking us through this, and thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We hope this gives you a framework to demand a little more certainty in your next big transformation project. We'll see you next time.
This deep dive is brought to you by SA Solutions for Asia, empowering you and fortifying your cybersecurity knowledge. Thanks for joining us on the SA podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share, or leave us a comment, and get in touch with us for all your cybersecurity needs. SA Solutions for Asia, empowering you and fortifying your cybersecurity knowledge.